Hi, it's Anna from Double Proficiency. You may know me as the author of HERBALIST'S Primer, and I'm currently working on Geologist's Primer, a sequel to it, talking about magical rocks, minerals and metals. This time, as you can see on the screen, we are working on jade. Jade is an interesting material. It's actually two different minerals, jadeite and nephrite. Humanity learned about that somewhere in the mid-19th century. I did in 1997 while watching Sailor Moon. If you're interested in their magical properties, and seeing as you're here, you probably are, it's mostly a stone of prosperity and immortality. It grants victory and provides magical power to musical instruments. You probably have heard of jade as it's intimately connected with the cultures of East Asia. Both jadeite and nephrite were considered a lucky stone, a symbol of nobility, purity and love. In China, which is the biggest culture influenced by jade, it was treated as the imperial gem, suited for those of the highest social standing. It is said to embody the Confucian values of justice, wisdom, modesty, courage, and charity. As a symbol of wealth and power, jade was prized in Japan, Korea, India, Myanmar, and the rest of Southeast Asia, as well as in Mesoamerica and New Zealand. Jade ornaments, weapons, and other objects called Pounamutonga, Taonga, I'm sorry for butchering it. It means green treasures, and it's an important part of the Maori culture, which is said to accumulate power and prestige, called mana, as they pass from generation to generation. Now, as I mentioned, jade is actually two different minerals, jadeite and nephrite. They are both silicate minerals and have similar physical and magical properties, which is why in my book I'm writing about them under one entry. Jadeite is rarer, it's harder and more valuable. It's much ranging in color, all hues of green, white, black, bluish, violet, or just bands of different colors. Nephrite is slightly less tough, mostly light to green, dark, and often mottled. As you can see on this piece I'm drawing right now, this is actually a piece of nephrite, and you can see those changing mottled colors of different shades of green. Unlike jadeite, nephrite is, even though it takes high polish, it always looks slightly dull and oily, I'd say. White jade, which is a much rarer variety, is also nephrite, but it has almost no impurities, no mineral inclusions, and it reaches really high prices among collectors. It's sometimes called maton fat nephrite, which doesn't sound particularly cute, but it is valuable. Both minerals are found in metamorphic rocks transformed by high pressure in low temperatures. Jadeite, the rarer and more valuable one is only found in subduction zones on continental margins. So, not that many of them on our planet. Nephrite can be found worldwide. Both types of jades are basically mined the same way as you would have expected, sometimes treated with wax, and the interesting thing is that they've been used for many centuries as tools, weapons. They are actually harder than steel, and jade axes and swords and knives were absolutely a thing, and I wouldn't mind one. However, if you ever heard about blood diamonds and blood rubies and sapphires and emeralds, jade is absolutely up with them on the same pile. That's the mining conditions in Myanmar are rather unfun, but you should definitely read up on that, and if you consider buying yourself a piece of jade, absolutely look into the ethical sourcing of it. If you're interested in magical properties, jade attracts all kinds of luck and is a generous gem which is happy to share with whoever owns it. It brings joy and love and abundance, great health, victories in courtrooms, and even immortality, according to some. For healing, you can use jade to restore kidney and bladder function, remove toxins, and calm the nerves. According to the legend, any food stored in jade vessels will take on the healing properties of the mineral. It is sometimes called a thunderstone. It protects from lightning and electricity. According to, again, a Chinese legend, no thunderbolt will ever hit a being that's carrying jade. However, all strikes reflected during the lifetime will hit the place where the body is buried after death. And spots of earth repeatedly struck by lightning often yield magically charged jade. The stone has power over water and weather. Thrown into a pool or a river with a lot of force, it will bring mist, rain, or snow. It is, because of that, a favorite offering of water spirits, which will bestow favors in exchange for high-quality gems. If you're ever interested in getting yourself some actual jade souvenirs, I would suggest some wind chimes or a gong, because musical instruments made of jade carry a beautiful tune when struck. That's all for today. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening to me ramble about one of my favorite stones in all of gemology. If you want to learn more about magical stones and metals and minerals, why don't you check out our Patreon, where you can get early access to Geologists Primer as well as many more things that we release every month. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.